Like, to take it to a different turn, it's kind of like the process behind the film. It's a miracle that it got made, due to the fact that like Coppola wasn't even supposed to direct it at a certain point. They were gonna kick him out if he did anything weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, you're a new director, you're in your 30s, like this is a big project for the studio. If you do anything weird, you're out. You know.
And it was also a big breakthrough for Pacino.
Which they didn't want to cast.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, everybody. I'm here with my youth pastor, and today we're going to be talking about. Yeah,
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse, Josh.
Godfather,
I'm the Godfather.
Don Corleone.
The Godfather.
I come to you to ask for justice.
You come to my daughter's wedding at this time of day.
This time of day?
I don't want to see him like this. Look what they did to my boy. They made him watch Amazing Spider-Man 2. Too good. I don't want to see him like
That doesn't even sound like.
Why did you say that name? Why did you say Martha?
Oh God, this is gonna be a hard episode. Why did you have to dress like that, dude?
I can't figure it out.
Don Corleone, I ask for justice.
And then I'm like, you want justice?
Well, you were asking me for murder.
You want justice? Get religion.
Well,
That's just
if this is your first time viewing our channel, welcome. You guys enjoy
go.
You guys enjoy this episode. Maybe hit the like button, subscribe, even share it. If you want to check out our Instagram, that's where we'll put some of our funnier moments. And if you want to support our channel, check out our Patreon.
Yeah. The Patreon, I follow. I monitor the Twitter occasionally.
Oh yeah, he does Twitter too.
Yeah, Twitter.
Twitter.
I occasionally post on Twitter the Real Talk Podcast.
Yes.
You've had your drink.
You had your drink. Josh, we got to stop the podcast.
And then you like look in the sky and he's like,
I don't want to see his mother like this.
I don't want his mother to see him like this.
Josh,
And then Luca Brazzi.
Luca Brazzi.
Coda Bazzini and
Michael, you were always my favorite.
Sonny.
Vito was not good.
Sonny, he was a hothead.
Sonny was a hothead.
Fredo, we don't talk about
We
Fredo.
don't talk about him.
I fucking hate that kid.
oh,
He's a fucking disappointment.
Oh my
Just
God.
making drive us around.
I don't think I can make it this podcast. Okay, let's actually talk about Godfather. I have the Godfather Blu-ray here, if anyone can see.
That
'Cause
is,
it's cinema.
other than his Blu-ray of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think that's your most prized possession.
It really is. This has the trilogy, and I get it. Part 3, not a lot of people like it, but you got to complete it. You know, you can't just have like 2/3 of the pie. You got to eat the whole thing. So
Okay.
that's a bad analogy, but I
Yeah.
don't care. Anyways,
You totally can eat 2/3 of the pie. I do that every time.
bruh,
I don't watch that. Dude, it's been like 5 years since I've seen the third Godfather.
You got to eat the whole pie, Josh. Or else you get whacked. You
Or
get your
else you sleep
kneecaps.
you're
It's just a silly message. It means Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
Sleeps with the fishes.
So this Blu-ray is pretty cool. I'm just gonna review the Blu-ray for a minute.
Go for it, man.
So this is what they give you too. It's called the Coppola Restoration. And you know what's really cool is that when you buy the Blu-ray, they also give you a wine bottle on the side.
Really?
No, I wish.
Oh.
Dude, imagine the
Yo, I
Godfather
bought
Blu-ray,
that.
and it's in a gift basket, and it's like, oh,
Yo, you had
Coppola's
me
wine.
fooled.
Yeah, but
What is this, a fucking unboxing video?
I love this. I love how it has to say the original classic as never seen before. Like no one's ever seen this. It's The Godfather. It's one of the biggest, most classic films you could watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just gives a description of all of them. It's the funniest one is like the description of part 3 is very short. It's like it's the last one, the final chapter in the epic Corleone trilogy. Al Pacino dies in this one. Oh no, it's a spoiler. I'm just kidding. They're not gonna make a part 4. Do you think they're gonna make a part 4?
No.
Would there be a possibility?
They would never. I think they had plans to make a fourth Godfather film that centered on Vincent.
Yeah.
But after what's his name? Who wrote The Godfather?
Mario Puzo passed
Mario
away.
Puzo. Yeah, when he passed
Yeah.
away, Coppola was like, "No, we're not doing this."
That's really good for him.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to see like a Godfather Part 4, Days of Future Past, and then they like fucking bring back Marlon Brando.
And he like goes back in time, and they deep fake him and shit like that.
Wait, you're me? You're the younger version of me? And then
Yeah,
Robert De Niro's like,
who would
I
you-
am the Vito Corleone.
Who would you cast to be to replace Marlon Brando? I know who. Mine would be Andy Samberg.
Shut up. I mean, that would be awesome, but like,
You'd be like,
You come to me on my day of my daughter's wedding.
did you know how Brando did that?
Was-
He put like stuff in his mouth.
yeah, isn't it in like the what's that big museum, the Smithsonian?
They have that in the Smithsonian.
Well, or at some museum it has Brando's
Brando's, yeah.
prosthetic.
Prosthetic.
Yeah.
Yo, they better clean that because that was in his mouth.
And
for,
like, yeah,
it's in my mouth. I get a little smelly.
what?
Well, if you put something in your mouth for like long takes, that's gonna smell.
No shit.
That's
Sherlock.
freaking nasty.
Thanks
you
for
know?
sharing.
This is how I got my Oscar.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah. Shit.
Godfather is classic.
Yeah.
And
The
I-
Godfather is a fantastic
And I
film,
like to say
is what
that
we should
because
say.
I
We
think
love
it's the first
Godfather.
one came out 50 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
What? Yeah. When is this episode gonna come out?
Oh shoot!
It's gonna be coming out on April 22nd. So about
yeah,
50 years and 1 month. And 1 month.
in 1 month. Wow.
Yeah, because The Godfather was released April 14th, I think. April 14th?
was it April 14th?
March 24th. What am I saying?
March
24th.
21st. So we're gonna be a little bit off with the dates, but it's still within this year. 50 years old. So that's impressive. Pretty pretty crazy stuff.
Shit ages, dude.
Shit, man. 50 years though. Like really think about that. Like
Hell, even my parents had asked me about it the other day. Like my mom was like, "Oh, isn't there something big that happened with The Godfather?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it turned 50."
turn
And
50.
I was like, "Wow, it turned 50." And my parents have never seen The Godfather. They don't care for it.
I really enjoy it. Like to take it to a different turn, it's kind of like the process behind the film. It's a miracle that it got made, due to the fact that like Coppola wasn't even supposed to direct it at a certain point. They were gonna kick him out if he did anything weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, you're a new director, you're in your 30s, like this is a big project for the studio. If you do anything weird, you're out. You know,
And it was also a big breakthrough for Pacino.
which they didn't want to cast.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we're gonna go for Robert Redford. We're like, can he be Irish Italian? And then Coppola's like, what's an Irish Italian? He's like, look, you can do that. And it's like, I want Pacino. Coppola was the reason Pacino's in the movie.
Yeah.
It was a big component.
Yep.
And,
I watched 101 Fun Facts.
I did too.
Yep.
I saw the documentary of because I think in 1990 when Part 3 was coming out, they did a documentary on like the whole trilogy because you could sell more money that way, merchandise and stuff. And they were giving out interviews and stuff. And James Caan was like, "Yeah, I got like test screened to be Michael." And even I was like, "Francis, do you want to do this?" And he's just like, "No, but the studio wants everyone to test." So James Caan was like, "All right, fine, give me the suit." You know, the famous wedding scene. With the
Yeah,
suit.
yeah.
He was like, "All right, give me the suit. I'll act with Diane Keaton, but I'm telling you, man, I don't think I'll be good for the role."
Speaking of which, like, yo, Sonny in that film looked great in that suit.
He did.
Yeah, he really pulled off that double-breasted look.
Sonny, James Caan did a great performance. All the actors,
everybody.
Everyone. Did
I don't think there was a
amazing.
single bad performance.
No.
Let's see. Can I think of one?
There was the actor who was like gonna thank Vito.
Luca Brasi.
Luca Brasi.
Because he kept forgetting his lines.
Yeah.
So he was outside practicing his lines.
And then Coppola was like, "Wait a minute, I could just like film that," and then he could be nervous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Look at him, fucking on the spot, he's using the old noggin.
Yeah. What was the actor who said the famous lines like, "Grab the gun, take the cannoli"?
Well, that was Clemenza.
Clemenza. Did you hear about the history behind that actor?
No.
So-
what do you mean history?
He wasn't in part 2.
He wasn't.
He was
He
not.
wasn't.
And do you know the reason why?
No.
Which is kind of funny because I think they make fun of actors who do this. They call it not a clemenza, but they say the actor's name. So basically, after the first one came out, it was a big deal,
Yeah.
popular, won a ton of Oscars, made a bunch of money. So the actor who played Clemenza,
Richard
was,
Salvatore Castellano.
yeah, Castellano. So they was like, "Oh, you pulled a Castellano or whatever." So this guy asked for so much money to reprise his role in part 2 to the point where it was insane. He's like, yeah, and my wife, I want her to check the script, and I'm going to check it, and I'm going to see if it's right or not, and if it isn't, I'm not going to be part of the film, and I want to get paid as much as Pacino and those guys. And you know what Coppola did? He just wrote him off.
Yeah.
He just wrote him
It
out.
was a cannoli. He choked on a cannoli.
Wrote him out Not even a mention. Maybe like I think
They mention him.
Oh yeah, they mention him, but he's not. In
They
the
mentioned
film.
how Clemens, what's his name? Fuck.
They said something like it was off screen.
What was the guy's name in the second film that like? Remember the two guys choked him in the shop? He had a mustache. What was his name?
Damn, I forgot.
Ah,
But I know what you mean. Like he was off screen. Like
Yeah, he mentions like how it was like how he got the
yeah.
he after
Something- something
there were
along those
sometimes
lines.
that they mention Clemenza.
Yeah, but-
Frank Pentangeli.
exactly. But what essentially he just wrote him out. He's like, all right, you're not going to be in the film anymore, and he never acted in any films again.
Yeah.
So whenever an actor has that type of attitude where it's just like, oh yeah, you want me in the next film? All right, well you pay me this much, you pay me all, and they're like, okay, you're not that big of an actor, so or your role isn't as big as you think, so you're out.
So I have a question
Yes.
because I don't think we discussed this on any of our Zoom calls.
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh, shit.
are we going to be talking about the 3 Godfather films, or are we going to be talking about Godfather 1 today?
I feel like we can discuss the trilogy as a whole.
I think
if
we can
wanted
probably
to.
focus on the first one.
Or you just want to do first one?
Yeah, let's focus on the first one.
Okay,
Also,
I might
it makes
reference-
content easier for the future.
That is true.
We could have an episode where we shit on, and then I'll also know to wear a suit next time.
Josh, you didn't come prepared.
You're like what's his name, Al Pacino in The Irishman. I wear a suit to a meeting, and you're late.
You're late. 10 minutes. You take traffic into account.
Yeah, I
you-
say 15.
more than 10.
15's right.
More than 10. You start saying something. What are you saying? What are you saying?
And he's like, I'm not saying anything. It says what it says.
He's like, all right. I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah,
I love Pacino in Godfather because Pacino's voice is so young.
I know it's cute.
It's like, man, that cigarette voice didn't come in until like Scarface.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, he talks, he's very quiet.
he's very quiet. He's very subtle. His voice is very like almost like his voice is higher pitched than ours.
Yeah,
Like
it
we have
was.
deeper voices than he has.
Pretty crazy to think about. But yeah, even back then he was like smoking like a bunch.
I mean, watch the movie. He's like always has a cigarette. in
But
his
even
mouth.
like because I think he was in a film before that. It was like The Panic at Needle Park.
Mhm.
It was filmed in New York. It was one of those like New York actor movies and stuff like that where he
Yeah.
played like a druggie. And Coppola saw him in that,
Mhm.
and he's like, "This guy's really good." And he's got like that mature look to him, even though he's like 30 or 29 in the movie. And it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I need that. I need that Michael character in this." And they got him. Luckily, they got him. And even Pacino was like, at a certain point during production, he's like, "Look, like I told Francis, like." At a certain point, if they don't need me, they don't need me. I know I'm not wanted. Like, just cast me in another film. It's all good.
Yeah.
And Francis was like, no, you're going to be in this. And
Yeah.
it made his career.
Damn.
Made his career. And
One can dream.
one can dream of getting a director that passionate about your acting.
Well, maybe you're the director and I'm the actor.
Look, if I'm like, I mean, you're a perfect actor, Josh. But I don't think my directing is up to scale with your acting.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so when I watched The Godfather for the first time,
Yeah.
I've told the story again. I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah.
Like when I watched it over the summer, I'm slouching a lot.
Yeah, hold on, Christian. We're gonna adjust each other, and then Christian's like, "Oh Jesus, now I gotta fucking move."
Yeah,
this
we're gonna
camera again."
wait. Pause.
What?
We're gonna
Wait.
what?
No, like adjust ourselves, like so that we're comfortable. That's
Why
what I
they-
meant.
Okay, that's what she said. We're gonna adjust each other.
No, Josh, you dirty,
Naughty.
naughty. But yeah, about the Godfather, like the first time you saw it.
Yeah. I kind of didn't understand it that well. Like I understood it, but the
Yeah.
thing is, I think the time jump from when Michael goes to Sicily,
Yeah.
and then he comes back and he tells Kay it's been like 2 years. I'm like, is he lying?
Oh,
And then like the movie like started like going through time a lot faster, so it kind of
Yeah.
like caught me off guard because I didn't realize that Brandon was aging. I
yeah,
didn't realize that Vito was getting old.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, the Godfather's starting to lose it, and I'm like, what are they talking about? It's been like a week.
oh yeah. Well, I guess that's another thing about part one. I feel like they did it better in part two with the time jumps. But yeah, part one, I could definitely see like even if you're like a younger kid, like 12 or 13 watching it. How old were you when you watched it?
I was 16.
Okay. Yeah, around that age. It's definitely a little bit confusing where it's like, oh, okay, Pacino's in Sicily, but like for how long?
Yeah.
He's like, he's in a relationship with, and I was like, okay, and then this whole ordeal happens to the point where she dies in the explosion and stuff, and it's just like, wait a minute. It's definitely not a week
Yeah.
because we're cutting back to the Corleone family, and it's just like, how long is it? And then you find out it's like 2 years and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Brando's performance, it's a classic.
Yeah, definitely. Like looking back on it, like I'd say The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 are like my definition of a perfect film.
It's crazy how like well they intertwine with each other. Like you can watch part 2 and be like, yeah, this is good on its own. And then you can watch the first one and like, yeah, and then they work together so well.
It's like Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 3 we don't really talk about.
Spider-Man 3. Man, I get it. The third one in both franchises are not as beloved, but
Hey, they each have a terrible actor, Topher Grace and what's her name, Sophia.
bro, you're gonna shit on Topher Grace. Like
Coppola.
you could shit on Sophia Coppola's acting, not her directing,
Not
but
her
her
directing,
acting.
not at all.
You could shit on her acting, but Topher Grace, man, that '70s show. I'm sorry, I gotta defend him in there.
Okay.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Topher Grace isn't in Godfather.
yeah.
If he was, then ooh, what a duo that would be.
Who
Sophia
would
Coppola and
Christian
Topher
play?
Grace.
Who would Christian play if he was in The Godfather? What role would he play?
Vito. I'm just
He would be
kidding.
the head of the family, yeah.
He'd be Vito.
He'd be sitting there like, you don't even think to call me Godfather.
Oh, Godfather. Josh, stay in topic.
I'd be like, I'd be the like you remember in the second Godfather, I'd be the fucking guy that like has his gun out and then gets run over by a car. That would be me.
Oh yeah. What
It's
would
like-
I be in The Godfather?
You'd be the two brothers that like you'd be the Rosado brothers who strangled Frank Pentangeli. I think I remember actually texting you one day, like before this podcast. We didn't really talk a ton
No, yeah.
before Cupid.
Yeah.
Before then, like every now and then, like it would be months between
I
episodes.
think I asked you to be like in if you wanted to be in a short film, and you were
And
just busy at the time.
I was like swamped with stuff. So,
Mhm.
but like
Yeah.
I remember one time I was having a cigar, and it was like the morning. I was like having a cigar at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and I was just watching the sunrise, and I sent a picture of my cigar to Neves, and I was like, Neves, I will never forgive Tom Hagen for throwing out that perfectly good cigar at the end of Godfather 2. Do you remember that?
Holy crap! I do remember.
Yeah.
That was a weird. Okay, there are a lot of like little moments like that I noticed in Godfather Part 2. It's crazy.
Because, like, you know, I enjoy cigars, and then I saw him have, like, a cigar that's, like, he smoked, like, this much of it. It's this big, and he just tosses it. And I'm like, bro, don't be wasteful.
He was a wasteful character.
Tom Hagen,
Tom Hagen, I guess.
they got rid of him for the third one.
Yeah.
Why didn't,
Why
Robert
wasn't
Duvall.
he in that? Yeah, I don't know.
His kid was in it, apparently, not Duvall's kid, obviously.
No, yeah. His other
Hagen
kid.
Jr.
Hagen Jr. Was Hagen Jr. a big character in that?
No, it's literally they
can't-
just want to acknowledge that Robert Duvall's character still existed.
I think the reason was Duvall just didn't have much involvement in the third one, which is kind of sad. I would have wanted to see Robert Duvall.
I think
He's a
they
great
had
actor.
considered at one point having the third one, if Duvall was going to return, have the third one have Duvall be the antagonist that he's felt overlooked all these years, so he's going to go after.
It's not
Michael.
that's not in Hagen's character though. I never saw him as like the antagonist. I always saw him as
No.
like he's trying to be as supportive as he can with the family despite his relations and stuff.
Yeah.
He always seemed like that to me. I don't see him as like that would be more of a Sonny thing.
Yeah,
That'd
absolutely.
be way more of a Sonny, but they killed him
Yeah.
off. So it's like, okay,
my
let's
God.
get Andy Garcia to do it.
I remember that. So I remember I was watching The Godfather one day, and my
Yeah.
grandparents were over, and that scene where Sonny's getting killed.
Oh my god.
He was just like 15
Holy
entire minutes
shit.
of him just getting shot. He's just like, and my grandma was watching it with
Yeah.
me, and she's like, "What are you watching?"
Yep. But you know what killed him? It wasn't the bullets.
It was the last kick.
It was the last kick. Dude, he kicked him in the head, man. That's brain damage.
Yeah, I know.
The guy died. He's like, "Shh, just make sure he's dead." One of the dumbass gangsters like, "Oh, let's just keep. Oh yeah, he's dead." He's like,
How many times have you seen The Godfather? Would you reckon?
I've seen it. I've seen part 2 more than part 1, which is weird.
If you could put, okay, let's actually group them together because I know I've seen The Godfather 3 like 3 times.
I've seen Godfather 3. Okay, yeah. As much as I want to defend it, I've seen it the least amount out of all of them.
Yeah, but for the first 2, how many times do you think you've seen it? Because I can definitively say I've seen both of like 1 and 2 like combined.
Yeah.
I'd say I've seen it like maybe 20 times.
20, Jesus. Okay. I usually don't watch films repeatedly because I always have like a memory of it.
Yeah, I didn't. It's just like every week I pretty much watch it when I first saw it. I was like, this movie's perfect.
Yeah. I guess part 2, I saw it like fully part 2 without any breaks or anything like that, like 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of times for a 3.5 hour long movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I still think about it. I'm like, damn, I
What's
really
that?
spent. And then part 1, the first one, I probably saw like 5 times.
Mm.
And then part 3, I probably saw like 2 times.
Taken that I just described. I spent 60 hours of my life watching The Godfather.
60 hours.
That's almost 3 full days.
Yeah.
That's 2.5 days.
But those are good days to have.
Yep.
You know what's crazy about a lot of those gangster mafia films is like, if they just stayed in their lane in terms of business, but no, they had to go the drug route. They were originally casinos. Remember the first movie where Vito's like, I don't want to do business with these guys and stuff like that. And then
Like in Goodfellas.
yeah,
Kids, don't do drugs.
Scarface,
Just drink alcohol.
just drink, sell alcohol. It is a legal
Just
drug. It is
kill
a
people.
legal drug. Do not kill people. Do not sell illegal drugs. Sell legal ones.
Just kill people.
Just kill people.
That's how you make it. Just don't do drugs, okay? They are not okay.
How do
We're
you feel about Fredo? How do you feel about Fredo?
I don't really like Alfredo sauce. I mean, it's not that yummy.
Shut up.
I
was supposed to be your big brother, Mike.
I'm your big
Fredo.
brother.
Stop making fun of my name because it sounds like a sauce.
My mama always said that I was adopted. That gypsies left me. You're not a gypsy, Fredo. Thanks.
Got to be careful with that word, Josh.
Gypsy?
Yeah.
Why?
It's offensive.
Real? Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
I didn't even realize that.
We'll clear it. We'll clear it out. It's okay.
Okay.
At
I
least we
didn't even
know now.
notice.
Anyways, back to but it's in the movie, so that's fair. You didn't know,
Okay.
but yeah,
Anyways.
Fredo. I feel bad for him at times.
I do too. Like I can definitely, to a degree, sympathize with the feeling of like your younger sibling
Yeah.
outshining you and everything. I'm with that with Matt. Matt's like this fucking amazing kid that's like super smart. He's in a great university. He's doing all this stuff. Matt got an internship with Uber for software engineering.
Good for him, man. Seriously.
And I'm over here struggling to finish my 4th year of an arts degree.
Hey, look, it's different. It's we all have different interests and stuff like that.
So I can definitely like see how Fredo would feel like overlooked, and like the parents would like overlook Fredo
Yeah.
rather and focus on more of their attention on Michael, because I feel like that's how it is with my parents. You know, Matt's like this crazy, like smart, techie guy who makes YouTube videos, and I'm over here talking about movies and struggling to finish my degree.
Yeah. That's fair.
So I do sympathize with it. I mean,
It does have its because Fredo, if I'm going to be honest, out of all the siblings, he's the clumsiest one.
Definitely.
Too. Which I'm like, oh yeah, like you
And I
couldn't even
was-
try pulling your gun out properly for Vito, man.
and I was gonna say I have not once tried to have my younger brother whacked.
yes. Matt.
I've definitely tried to shift the blame onto Matt so he would get beaten, not me, when my mom would like be like, "Who ate the chocolates?"
See, that's good.
Matt, it was my brother.
That's a good way of looking at it. What are you checking on your phone?
I'm just putting on Do Not Disturb. I got an email.
That's clever. That's smart. But yeah, like if I had to rank the brothers, like Sonny, he was too violent. It's too violent. Tom Hagen.
What?
What?
Why is he laughing so hard?
What? What are you laughing at? You go for it.
How do we get to ranking the brothers? What did I miss?
Rewatch the episode, dude.
Look, I'm gonna rank the brothers right now. All right,
like, which one's the
listen.
hottest? He's so cute.
Dude, Fredo with his balding hair, man. Dude, you gotta give it.
That hair- LeBron James. Hairline. I can't even talk about hairlines.
LeBron James. What? How do we get from LeBron James now? Like LeBron
things
James,
happen,
Godfather.
Nevis.
Okay.
So
But
ranking your brothers.
can we agree that Tom Hagen had like the worst hair out of all of them?
Tom Hagen?
Yeah.
In the first one, it wasn't that bad. In the second one, it was bad.
Yeah. I take Fredo's hairline over his.
I don't know. I think I just shave it all off and just be bald.
Who's the guy that talked like this? Oh, he was in part 2. The old mustache guy?
Yeah, Frank Pentangeli.
Yeah, Frank Pentaglia. Yeah. This is how I talk. Dude, he
Oh
sounded
my-
like an old man, like
he was an old man.
No, it sounded like me impersonating an old man.
Oh.
Hey, what are you doing here, Michael? Hey, listen.
Oh, wait, no.
Hey, no. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Where am I?
Drinking the water straight from the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I hated his character the moment they introduced him because he was wearing a suit jacket
Yeah.
and he had it was a 2-button suit jacket like yours, but the only button that was done was the bottom one. Which is like
you
a sin.
bastard! That is.
It's like the 2 sins of wearing a suit: never have both buttons done up, and never have the bottom one only.
The actor probably said to Coppola, like, "Hey, listen, I'm like not a good person. Let me."
Like, let me
and then
show the
Coppola's like,
audience."
"Yes, do that.
Yeah.
That's genius."
We definitely need to do a part 2 episode of this because there's so much more we can say. Look, Christian's telling us what was that 5 or 4?
4.
4?
Jesus.
Yeah, like we need to do a part 2.
Don't
episode
worry.
of this.
Just like the Godfather films, we'll have an intermission. We'll have an intermission.
This would have been a great episode for when we used to do an hour-long episodes.
Dude, those hour-long, like sometimes they were good, and then sometimes I was like trying to struggle, like, Josh, where's my coffee? I need another one.
And sometimes I was just sitting there like, dude, can you die of restless leg syndrome? My leg's gonna fall off. I think I'm just loosening all my bolts.
Oh man, yeah. Have you ever tried Coppola's wine?
No, I haven't. I've only recently gone into wine. Where the fuck is this episode going?
Look, Coppola's wine is pretty good. I had some when watching Apocalypse Now, and halfway into the movie, I just passed out. And then I woke up. I'm like, oh, that's the film. That's the film. I want to do that for Godfather.
We should do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the ending of the first one.
The door closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not even the door closing, but like that whole sequence of the kid
baptism.
baptism.
Yeah.
They're all
Did
dying.
you know that the scene of after McCluskey and what's his name Solazzo get shot and killed?
Yeah.
You know how there's the montage and like the pasta is being thrown into the garbage.
Yeah.
You know who made that, right? Who made that for the film?
Who?
Like that bit.
Oh,
was
wait.
Made by
I think I know.
who?
Like editing wise?
Yeah.
George Lucas.
Yes.
Oh,
George Lucas made
I
that
freaking
one.
knew that.
You know that, Christian?
No.
Yeah. You
Well,
learn something. Look, you learn something when you watch the Real Talk podcast.
Lucas, Coppola, De Palma, Spielberg, they all worked on each other's movies one way or another. And it's kind of cool. It's like, hey, I did that for Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
De Palma was probably would say that for like the title crawl for the original Star Wars. Like, hey, I reworded that because it was like 50 pages. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that for the rough cut. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, when we do a Star Wars, one of my favorite things about the original Star Wars is literally
Yeah.
that title sequence is actually really concise. Like there's
Yeah.
no fat on it.
No, none whatsoever.
Every single word is important. But that's for another episode.
Another time, good
and-
Godfather talk, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So is there anything? Do you want to do a last impression before we go?
Yes. Stop it. Stop it now. I've heard that song. What have you done?
Stop singing that fucking song.
That is that is a fitting end to our Godfather episode where we make fun of the scene from the Batman
I just showed them that
where the
clip on
Riddler
YouTube.
sings "The Lion Sleeps
I just showed them
Tonight."
that on YouTube.
Wimboa. Josh, I'm gonna tell you something. This was a pretty good episode. We ranked all the brothers of the Corleone family.
Do that.
We didn't really do that, and then we talked about Coppola's wine.
Like the video if you want to see a part 2. Subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't like the video, we're still doing a part 2 because I want to do part 2.
Yep.
Yeah, check out our Instagram and our Patreon.
That's the phone. Hold on. Should I?
The phone
No.
is
Okay.
ringing.
Okay. Can we?
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Check out our Instagram, Patreon to support the channel. We will talk to you guys in the next episode.
I'm sorry, guys.
That was so embarrassing. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.